One of the places that Jesus wants to go out from your home into the environment around your home is your business. How many fathers that I have met who have enthroned their businesses to the Sacred Heart? It began with my own brother, who enthroned his business to the Sacred Heart. I remember going down to my brother's shop. It was right here in Scranton. He was dealing with a new metal, titanium, and it just wasn't doing that well here on the East Coast. He was putting in a lot of money, putting in a lot of time, and somehow there was a failure in the business. But somehow this particular product fit in with the aircraft industry. Jesus said, I will bless all your undertakings, temporal and spiritual. We had the enthronement of the Sacred Heart in his titanium business. And he had to move from the East Coast because titanium fit much better with the aircraft industry to the West Coast. And he had a tremendous success in his business. Not that all the time this will always happen, but it's what happened with him. The Sacred Heart promised, I will bless all your undertakings, temporal and spiritual. The success of his business. Over and over again, I have seen people who will take... I was in the Southwest, and there I saw a picture of the Sacred Heart in a McDonald's. You see, people aren't afraid to bring out, and this was in the Mexican culture. They have much more connection in the culture. St. John Paul II, St. John Paul II, the great John Paul, said, what are you doing to change your culture, your environment? How do you change the environment and the culture in which you live? See, Mexicans have a much more openness in their culture. But I was in a McDonald's in the Southwest, and when I walked in there, whoever the manager was had an image of the Sacred Heart there in the McDonald's. And I thought, isn't that amazing? You see, he connected his business, whoever that manager was, with the Sacred Heart. It's wonderful to have a Big Mac with Jesus. Whatever your business is, have the Sacred Heart enthroned, right in where your workers are coming in, where they're seeing brothers working together, where they're seeing laboring, and as in your machine shops or wherever it might be, in your work setting. How important it is to connect the business and the work of Joseph and Jesus in the workshop, as well as in the home at Nazareth. The environment that they worked in, he changed a work scene by his presence. That same work scene there, the love that will go between an employer and an employee, the love that will go between employees. And he promises, I will bless all your undertakings. Take him at his word. And whenever this happens or wherever you go, it's not that it's going, I'm now going to be success. No, it will be a blessing in your work, whatever that might be. One of the great things that Jesus wants to do and has done always, right from the beginning, he came into Simon Peter's home. What did he do? He laid hands on his mother-in-law. She had a fever. He came into the house at Cathedral. It got so crowded. Who came? The sick. What about you doctors? What's the connection between your healing hands and your office, your climate there, in your workplace, and throne your office to the Sacred Heart? Why not have an image of the Sacred Heart and a ceremony of enthronement where your patients come? Who can be offended by an image of the Sacred Heart? Don't you have a picture of your wife there on your desk? Don't you have your sons there, pictures, those you love? Why not Jesus? Have a picture of Jesus so that they will know that he is your best friend. He is your co-operator. He is the one who is with you. How many doctors I have met, and they talk constantly about, I didn't do this to you. I left my skills here, but when this happened to you, it was him. We have to give this credit to God. And my faith in God is so great that when I believe that he wants to heal me, I have this most magnificent doctor. When I tell her my symptoms, she almost immediately is able to pinpoint what that particular ailment is. And within a few days, I just am being healed and feeling better. That's how the miracle works for me, that I'm able to go to this doctor of mine, and through her guidance and direction, she almost always hits the exact, and I have this great love. And there she has in her office an image of the Sacred Heart, the enthronement of the Sacred Heart. I would very much encourage. Should we have them in hospitals? Well, maybe the administration won't let you have it in the center, but how about in your wing? Or how about where you are? Or if you're the head of nursing care, or if you're the head of this particular department, or if you're head of this area, or if this is your wing, or if this is where you work. Have an image, and in your own heart, enthrone him, take him to work with you, with the sick. And when you walk into that patient's room, aware that he is with you. Who is the healing power in and through you? A nurse, a doctor, or if you're even just cleaning the floors, what a great thing this is, that you can contribute to this hospital setting by your cleaning, you're just doing whatever you do. Every person in that hospital is going to be under the power and care. Supposing all you're doing is going in and taking patients from one department to another, how powerful that can be. If you in your heart have enthroned the Sacred Heart, he wants to be with the sick. He wants to care for them. Jesus is always caring for the sick. And through you and with you and in you, he can be in that environment. He wants to go to the justice system. Are you a lawyer? Can you take him with you? Are you dealing with prisoners? What about enthronement in a prison? Where can you go in society? I was in prison and you cared for me. Jesus wants to be the King of our whole world. Jesus wants to not only come into your home,